Hello, I'm Father Joe Roesch of the Marian Fathers of the Immaculate Conception. Thank you for joining us as we continue with our year-long journey reading the diary of St. Maria Faustina Kowalska from beginning to end. Today we take up from where we left off, diary entry number 1487. Conversation of the Merciful God with a Suffering Soul. Jesus: Poor soul, I see that you suffer much, and that you do not have even the strength to converse with me. So I will speak to you. Even though your sufferings were very great, do not lose heart or give in to despondency. But tell me, my child, who has dared to wound your heart? Tell me about everything. Be sincere in dealing with me. Reveal all the wounds of your heart. I will heal them, and your suffering will become a source of your sanctification. Soul: Lord, my sufferings are so great and numerous, and have lasted so long that I become discouraged. Jesus: My child, do not be discouraged. I know your boundless trust in me. I know you are aware of my goodness and mercy. Let us talk in detail about everything that weighs so heavily upon your heart. Soul: There are so many different things that I do not know what to speak about first or how to express it. Jesus: Talk to me simply, as a friend to a friend. Tell me now, my child, what hinders you from advancing in holiness? Soul: Poor health detains me on the way to holiness. I cannot fulfill my duties. I am as useless as an extra wheel on a wagon. I cannot mortify myself or fast to any extent as the saints did. Furthermore, nobody believes I am sick, so that mental pain is added to those of the body, and I am often humiliated. Jesus, how can anyone become holy in such circumstances? Jesus: True, my child, all that is painful, but there is no way to heaven except the way of the cross. I followed it first. You must learn that it is the shortest and surest way. Soul: Lord, there is another obstacle on the road to holiness. Because I am faithful to you, I am persecuted and suffer much. Jesus: It is because you are not of this world that the world hates you. First, it persecuted me. Persecution is a sign that you are following in my footsteps faithfully. Soul: My Lord, I am also discouraged because neither my superiors nor my confessor understand my interior trials. A darkness clouds my mind. How can I advance? All this discourages me from striving for the heights of sanctity. Jesus: Well, my child, this time you have told me a good deal. I realize how painful it is not to be understood, and especially by those whom one loves and with whom one has been very open. But suffice it to know that I understand all your troubles and misery. I am pleased by the deep faith you have, despite everything, in my representatives. Learn from this that no one will understand a soul entirely. That is beyond human ability. Therefore, I have remained on earth to comfort your aching heart and to fortify your soul so that you will not falter on the way. You say that a dense darkness is obscuring your mind. But why, at such times, do you not come to me, the light who can in an instant pour into your soul more understanding about holiness than can be found in any books? No confessor is capable of teaching and enlightening a soul in this way. Know, too, that the darkness about which you complain I first endured in the Garden of Olives, when my soul was crushed in mortal anguish. I am giving you a share in those sufferings because of my special love for you and in view of the high degree of holiness I am intending for you in heaven. a suffering soul is closest to my heart. Soul, one more thing, Lord. What should I do when I am ignored and rejected by people, especially by those on whom I had a right to count in times of greatest need? Jesus, my child, make the resolution never to rely on people. Entrust yourself completely to my will, saying, not as I want, but according to your will, O God. Let it be done unto me. These words, spoken from the depths of one's heart, can raise a soul to the summit of sanctity in a short time. In such a soul I delight. Such a soul gives me glory. Such a soul fills heaven with the fragrance of her virtue. But understand that the strength by which you bear sufferings comes from frequent communions. So approach this fountain of mercy often, to draw with the vessel of trust whatever you need. Soul, thank you, Lord, for your goodness in remaining with us in this exile as the God of mercy, and blessing us with the radiance of your compassion and goodness. It is through the light of your mercy that I have come to understand how much you love me. Here, Jesus speaks with a suffering soul who seems to resemble St. Faustina very much. The soul speaks of its discouragement, and Jesus reassures the soul. He wants to discuss with the soul what weighs it down. Jesus wants to speak with each of us like a friend. The soul recounts its difficulties. He says that the cross is the way to heaven. The soul is also persecuted for being faithful to him. Jesus was persecuted, and his followers are persecuted as well, because they do not belong to this world. We should be in the world, but not of the world. Not live in a worldly, sinful way. Jesus is pleased with the faith of the soul. He speaks of what he endured in the Garden of Olives, and he shares some of his sufferings with the soul because he is calling her to a high degree of holiness. He calls on the soul to always turn to him in time of need. The soul speaks of being ignored and rejected by those who she should be able to count on. And Jesus calls the soul to rely on him alone. Unfortunately, people will always disappoint us because they are not yet saints. He calls her to find her strength in receiving communion frequently. Getting to Mass regularly is a wonderful way to grow in holiness. And the soul thanks Jesus for his love. So let's remember those important words that he tells us to repeat. Not as I want, but according to your will, O God, let it be done unto me.